So I actually went down to number 4, so it's much thinner because I'm probably going to do another backing. This is just going to give it some stability. I'm going to do another backing to be able to work in a bail on the pendant or some sort of attachment if I were going to do a pin or something like that. But this should be good, and hoping that I didn't get any air bubbles in there. So I've got that down on there. I'm going to go back over it with my parchment paper, which I put where? Yeah, that's always happening. What did I do with what I just used? Okay, so I'm just really sealing it to the backing really well, going back and forth so if there are any air bubbles in the middle, I am pushing them out. Okay, that should be good. And then I can take cutters. I can cut them myself, in Freeform. So like I said, Julie Piccarello is really good about doing Freeform kind of things. So she would come in and do a curve here, and then maybe a curve like this. And then maybe another one like that. So you can cut shapes that way. But if you're doing multiple pieces and you want them to be the same shape, maybe the same shape but different sizes, then it's easier to use a cutter. But she just sort of does freeform stuff, which is just fascinating to me. Then let me come in with a couple of my cutters. So I've got this fun shape. And I could use this and see how you could start blending the different, using this to blend the different patterns in the same piece. Let me come over here. And then let me use something else. I've been doing a lot of earring work, so my bigger cutters are escaping me. So this is a really interesting pattern. Do I want it that long or do I want it shorter? I think because I want to put a color frame around it, that I'm going to do something a little bit shorter. I like the templates that are solid color and just reveal what the piece is going to look like, because then it's easier to envision what your cut piece is going to look like. But these work just fine. Got this one. This one, I think I want to do here. I like this shape, the movement there in that shape. I also kind of like this little splash here, but let me see what I can do with this. And I need to make sure I'm not running off the edge of there. Maybe if we do And I know my hand's probably in the way, so you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm just really taking the X-Acto knife and cutting along straight down, not at an angle, straight down through the piece. And let's see, what do I want to do for, I've got a pretty nice piece here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'll save the rest for earrings. Let me take these pieces off. I can clean those up with the X-Acto knife in a little bit. Let's see what we've got here. So that's sort of interesting. I've got this piece here, which is kind of cool, especially if I put either the blue or the white as a border around it. That'll be nice. And then I've got this piece. Ooh, I like that. That came out good. It would be either like that, or you could do it like this, or like that. I like that. All right, and then the rest I'm going to use for earrings, using some of the fun shapes that are really popular right now, like and these are my leather punch tools. I love this shape of earring. Can put these on posts or on wires. And another fun shape is, oh, come on, let me have my blade. So I can do these half circles. I don't think it's going to really capture what I want it to capture. Could do that. I like cutters more than having to cut out from a template because it's just so much easier. But I don't have cutters that are in this shape, and I like this shape. I think the squares look nice. And then I've got this larger one. It looks nice too. And sometimes the clay sticks in there, and I don't want to poke it with the sharp edge of the knife because you'll get a knife cut in there, but I can do it with a larger blunt edge and it'll come out. Or I can dip this in cornstarch and it should release just fine. But sometimes I'm lazy. So 1, 2, 3 more. Oh. And let me do maybe some small squares. And some circles. And then this little bit over here I'm going to save to see if maybe I can put it together with a solid color, meld them together so I get a 2-color piece. I think that'll work just fine. Alright, so let's see what we ended up with here in total. No, I forgot I had that piece, but we can do something with that later. Little swirls. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 pendants. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 3 studs. This pair of earrings, this pair of earrings, and this pair of earrings. And sometimes I will match up, these to make a pair of earrings, or go with the solid color. But we've got some components here, quite a few. So for all the work that you did to make that one veneer, it's not too bad because you end up getting a number of components out of it. So when you fire polymer, you want to make sure that none of your pieces are in contact with each other, or they will cure together, they'll stick together. So you can put them close, but not too close. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get these all on here. Let me go for more of the earrings. So let's see here. I could probably arrange this to be a little bit better so I can get everything on here. But that's okay. I could also put another card under here so I can use the little extra space. Alright, so I can get them all on here. Alright, this is all Primo clay. So I am going to preheat my oven to 275. I'm going to check it with the thermometer. I am using just a plain toaster oven. I'm going to cover this with a piece of cardboard that covers the whole piece of glass. It doesn't have to seal, but it needs to be tight. If I would leave it open like this, there's not a chance that the white would definitely discolor as it cures. And so when I cover it, it prevents it from burning. You can also tint it with pieces of foil. You can tint it with cards. You don't want the cards touching the top of the clay, so some people use, cards like this and have them, sort of perch above the clay, although that's not large enough. It's just easier for me just to use the Pyrex bowl, and I cut out a piece of cardboard, thin cardboard, not the thick corrugated cardboard, thin cardboard, to make my cover. So I'm going to preheat the oven to 275, and I'm going to put this in, and then I am going to bake these or cure these for 30 minutes since it's Primo clay.